Hello, my name is Gino Ferru, and I'm the Senior Vice President and General Manager at Air Technologies, responsible for the European market. And I'm joined today by Thomas Bagge, the CEO of Digital Container Shipping Association. Thomas, it's great to have you here today at our first technology event, focusing on everything that has to do with supply chain automation. Thomas, could you explain to us what DCSA is all about?
Of course. Firstly, thanks for inviting us. Thanks for partnering with us. We really appreciate that. DCSA is a Dutch association that was founded by the 10 largest container companies in the world. So we represent about 80% of the world's containerized trade. And our goal is really to standardize, harmonize, and digitalize the container shipping industry and also the wider supply chain.
And in fact, we just signed an agreement between DCSA and Air Technology. We are becoming member of the association. I think it's going to represent a lot of additional opportunities for the two companies. What's your view on those opportunities moving forward, Thomas?
Well, I think what's so fascinating about international supply chains is that there are so many actors, and it is very easy to optimize, one string, but to really have the effect, you have to optimize each link in the supply chain. So collaboration is really key here. And I think one of the opportunities that we have is to bring in more people into the collaboration, whether it is shippers, whether it's technology service providers, whether it's freight forwarders, and so many others that play a role in our industry.
I think, Thomas, in your capacity as the CEO of DCSA, you have a very strong view in terms of the challenges that the industry is facing. What would you call out being the key challenges moving forward?
Yeah, well, I'm a glass half full kind of person, so I like talking about opportunities, but I do think that there are some trust elements in our industry that needs to be overcome. If we're talking about artificial intelligence and you're talking about that the model is the engine, then data is the fuel. And so there needs to be a level of data sharing. People need to engage in that. And so I think, trust and willingness to experiment is definitely two things. And that, of course, cuts across all the actors that are involved. Looking at it from your perspective, what do you see are the biggest obstacles to be overcome for us?
Yeah, well, from a Air Technology perspective, right, we are kind of the fuel into the machine. So we do represent the largest location intelligence database and platform. For us, the real challenge is to make sure that the data is accurate, fresh, precise, and that it has the sufficient coverage in order to then subsequently make sure the use cases for our customers are sufficiently supported. And then as a final step, once we have the use cases with the data and the engine, we have to make sure jointly that they can be implemented in our customer organization, making use of the services that we have. So that's really all about the things that keep us busy. But I think once we have it, we can definitely do a lot of innovative, appealing value add to make sure the supply chain does what it is expected to do. All right, so last question, Thomas, for you. The industry, as you know, wants to achieve like a really reliable end-to-end capability, including automation, predictive ETA, accurate ETA. What do you think are the most critical capabilities that the industry is looking for in order to go a little bit faster?
I think they're actually human. I think something like curiosity. I think controlled risk-taking as well. Certainly from the part of the industry we represent, where it is container shipping, and there's a lot of focus on safety, and there must be. There's a lot of focus, of course, on the present situations we see, or the conflicts around the world. But I do see curiosity and measured risk-taking as definitely two key qualities that we need to keep on exploring.
Thank you for explaining, and looking forward to the collaboration. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you for having us.